I'm here today with Marc Berger, founder and CEO of Purely Solutions, a tax and accounting services firm based out of Wimberley, Texas. Good morning, Marc. How are you?
Hey, glad to be here.
Yeah, well, we are glad to have you. I'm excited about this conversation today. You've got over 25 years experience in tax and accounting services. I know you've been interviewed by Intuit, the makers of QuickBooks. You're also on the advisory council for Gusto. You've written articles for Intuit also in terms of technology and how to incorporate that in your practice. So I can think of no better person to speak to today on the topic of accounting services. So thanks again for joining us.
Yeah, happy to be here.
Well, say, Marc, this is an area that I know a lot of business owners have questions about in terms of how to pick an accounting services firm. And I just want to get your thoughts. Where should a business owner start when going through that process?
Yeah, Derek, it's an evolving thing. I think one way people should look at is they should talk to people they know, get a good referral source, at people they respect and know and who are successful in business, ask who they're using, get some advice there. Secondly, the accounting industry is evolving drastically. So as you start to nail down some options of an accounting services firm or tax or accounting or business advisory, really look for a firm that's forward thinking, that's, part of their strategy is technology and integrated advisory services. It's no longer just compliance work where you get with a firm and monthly they help you with your books or annually help you with your tax return. It's more of an integrated solution now, and that's evolving. And just as things continue to change at the rate that they do in tax compliance, in technology, it's just making it more and more necessary to have a ongoing relationship with your provider. So that's kind of what we try to tell our clients.
You mentioned something I want to expand upon a little bit, and you really one of the things that has impressed me about you is your firm is very forward thinking when it comes to technology, and I want to just get your thoughts about technology, cloud versus non-cloud options. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, we believe strongly in the cloud. We think it's the future. We think that's where all the service providers, software providers in the financial services area across the board are putting all their development money and all their efforts and all their energy to develop cloud-based solutions. It makes you really nimble as a startup small business. You can run your business from an app on your phone. The desktop technologies are going away quickly. And, part of that is just the scalability of an online platform, the accessibility from multiple devices, the internal controls of being able to remove permissions and issues, and addressing staff, adding people or removing people is just makes it really an only option. We tell our clients you should insist on a cloud-based technology. It's really the only way to build a scalable business.
Can you talk? Scalability I think it's one of those things that a lot of business owners, when they hear that, they say, yeah, I would like to do that. I need to be more scalable. I need to be able to focus more time on my company. Can you kind of unpack that a little bit for us in terms of what are some of these different technology pieces that you think are really important as far as the accounting services package?
Yeah, great. Happy to do that. For example, there's a core 1, 2, 3 that's the start for a business. What you have to realize in the accounting industry, apps are getting very niche specific. So start with a solid base accounting system that's a proven product. We use QuickBooks Online. It's the makers of Intuit. They're a fairly large company. They've been around for a really long time. Their products are proven. So we put clients on QuickBooks Online. Another app integration that we really like to use is, as you mentioned, is Gusto, payroll solution that is also starting to develop into an HR support and other services. These apps are allowing small businesses at a very reduced price and on a per user cost to be able to have some really powerful tools to run their business. And so it's really that picking the core businesses. Accounting systems got to be a really solid cloud-based solution. Payroll, we strongly recommend clients don't do their own payroll. The complexity is really difficult, and the technology that's evolved makes it seamless to connect to your accounting system. Thirdly, is a product that we've worked with before. Is there some very low barrier to entry retirement planning solutions now? Guideline Financial is one that I believe you guys work with as well, that allows a small business that's really small for a very low barrier entry of cost to set up a really fairly robust, 401k offering. So, and then from there, Derek, it just adds on. There's a multitude of niche apps that can meet a specific need, from CRM to inventory to whatever other, specific you need that can integrate into some fairly proven apps. But you got to have a core app stack, and that's going to just allow you to scale without having to manage those systems. They're built to add on and scale rapidly. So that, hopefully that answers your question.
It does. And, one of the points you brought up was, even integration with 401k providers, and Guideline is one of those, also, leading edge, technology type companies that is really affordable for small business owners that we work with. And, I always cringe when I hear business owners saying that they're trying to do everything, with their staff, having their staff process payroll, or having their staff send, 401k contributions to, whatever custodian that they're using. And unfortunately, I've seen too many situations where it doesn't, the execution fails. There may be money pulled out of payroll, but it doesn't actually get sent into the 401k plan. Of course, the Department of Labor and the IRS don't think fondly of that when that happens. And it just seems this day and age that it's almost crazy not to leverage that technology, that integration, to where you don't have to think about it. The payroll does its thing. The 401k happens because the payroll and the 401k systems talk to one another. They're fully integrated with one another. And then if you're a business owner, you could just spend time on growing your company.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And to elaborate on that a little bit, it's not that these apps are going to magically do everything for you and mechanically everything, automation's just going to occur and everything's going to work. But what it is going to do, it's going to remove all the pitfalls of all the minutia details that the technology can just do better, right? It's syncing your bank account to QuickBooks Online. It pulls down every transaction. It's going to get the date right. It's going to get the amount right. The 401k guideline integration between QuickBooks and Gusto allows those contributions to be made automatically and timely, and they're accurate without collecting. Not to say that there's not a human element that's really important, but it's really fintech plus, right? It's financial technology plus a smart human on your team to help you navigate these things. And that's why we're saying technology is important. And advisory services is important, because it's not plug and go, and you're done, plug and done. You're not connecting these apps and you let them run and magically everything, ties out perfectly. That's not the reality. They're super useful tools, but you also have to manage them and maintain them. And they're always evolving and they're always adapting, and the software companies continue to change them. So in the real world, it takes a smart person to do that. And that's what the advisory services is. Make sure systems you put in place that are integrated are working accurately and producing useful and accurate information. And secondly, helping you interpret that information, because now you've got access to tons of data, and small business clients are even getting lost into what's important to track. What do I need to be looking at now? So helping someone who's smart with the numbers, understands what this information coming out of all these apps is, to help you make smart decisions about how to move forward in your business. That's the advisory service part. That's the piece that AI is not going to remove all of the work that we do today. It's just going to make us smarter and better and have more relevant information to make good decisions. So, anyway, it's good.
So let's talk a little bit about best practices. And, I guess one other question that I would have is, if I'm a startup company, I'm literally ground zero, and obviously revenue, I need to get the revenue up and going. At what point should I seriously consider accounting services? Is it literally day one? Should that be a must-have? Or should I get my revenue up to a certain point before I really start thinking more about, leveraging this technology? What are your thoughts there and kind of best practices for startups?
I think it depends on your level of experience, your comfort level. I have clients who we can help them get started, help them build the core architecture of the app stack that they need, get them some guidance. And if they like to do the accounting to save a few dollars on the front end, maybe, if you've got a knack for that. But as quickly as these things are changing again, and as complicated as the integrations are, I think it's good to start to build a team from the very start, because you don't know what you don't know, right? So you might be like, oh, QuickBooks is easy. I connected my bank. It's amazing. It's everything syncing. Well, you get 6 months down the road to finally get a hold of accountants, or now you got to do your tax return, and you give them access to your books, and you realize it's completely wrong, right? So I just tell people, if you're serious about starting a business, you have to look at this as an investment. You won't go represent yourself, in a lawsuit by yourself without an attorney, or you don't do your own plumbing. I mean, many people don't do their own laundry or their own dry cleaning or their own lawn even anymore. So why would you take this thing that's going to provide for your livelihood and not get good advice? So I highly recommend getting somebody involved at some level from the very beginning. And then as the business grows, you can ratchet the involvement or the services, that you need from a service provider, but highly recommend you get good financial advice on the front end from an attorney, insurance agent, financial planner, and an accountant. I think you got to get your core team, and then you just evolve the services required from those people as your business grows.
That's a great answer, Mark. Anything else before we wrap up today that you'd like to touch on when it comes to accounting services?
Not really. Just the only thing I'd say, always be thinking about developing your team. Now, you may not be able to afford all these professionals, like I mentioned, all at once, but you need to start developing those relationships if you're serious about growing a business. I'd say always be forward thinking, looking at scalability. Technology is going to be your friend in success of a business. And I think what people struggle with is this idea that I'm going to build this and then I'm done. And so I tell people in small business, be prepared to be constantly evolving and innovating. You have to be able to pivot, be nimble. And as the world changes, as COVID has shown us, we've had to been able to, all firms and all businesses of all sizes have had to figure out how to be nimble and how to pivot quickly. And so the ability to pivot and adjust and innovate quickly is going to be a key factor in any business's success in today and the future. So that's what we like to do. We come alongside companies, say, you know what you do really well. We're going to come be a strong partner of yours and help you do what you do. So,
Mark, what's the best way for people to contact you if they want to learn more about Purely Solutions and your firm?
Right. So they can reach us on our website, www.purely-solutions.com. You can also search for us on almost any of the social media platforms. You can also reach us by phone, 512-394-8020 is our main phone.
Mark, thanks again. I really appreciate the time and insight and how you approach accounting services.
All right, Derek, thanks for the interview. I appreciate it. It's good to talk to you.
All right. You have a great day.
All right, you too. Talk to you soon.